I know this is the third type of video that I've posted about this in a row, talking about games that might be coming to Nintendo Switch. Well, today there's another rumor and I want to talk about it, so let's talk about The Witcher 3 on Nintendo Switch. Now, The Witcher 3 is a really graphically demanding game, so the question is can this game even run on Nintendo Switch? Well, upon doing some research, I stumbled upon a potato version of the game, which just looks really funny. It's pretty much the PC version with the graphics turned all the way down, and you know, oddly enough, some of it doesn't look half bad. It just looks like The Witcher 3 using a different art style. As you can see, this gameplay is courtesy of GameSpot. And, you know, a lot of it doesn't look that bad. I could imagine them maybe changing the art style a bit of The Witcher, making it a bit more cartoony, something more similar to that recent game on Xbox called Ashen. I think that game uses a really cool art style, and it kind of looks similar to this downgraded Witcher. So, I don't know, what if they brought The Witcher to Nintendo Switch and they just used a totally different art style? They downgraded the graphics and changed the art style a little bit, and made the frames per second, I don't know, locked at 30 or something, the resolution at 720p. You know, I'm fine with anything. Getting The Witcher 3 on Nintendo Switch would be freaking awesome. I don't care what anybody says. A game this big in the palm of your hands is absolutely insane, you know? But you know what? 3 years ago, I never in a million years could have imagined Skyrim on a portable handheld, and here it is now. A huge open world game on Switch, and you know, that game runs wonderfully and the graphics are pretty good. So the Switch obviously can do a lot of crazy things, and the geniuses over at Panic Button, who port pretty much every game, they have proven that they use some type of magical powers to get games like Doom and Wolfenstein II running on Switch. In terms of graphics, the Switch doesn't really look that different compared to the PS4 and Xbox One. As for the resolution and the frames per second, that's a whole different story, but graphically, pretty good. So I'm just wondering, could this be real? It's probably not, but let's jump into it a little bit. So there's this site that recently listed The Witcher 3 for Nintendo Switch, and I believe it had also a placeholder date for like December 31st, 2019, pretty much hinting that it would get a release date in sometime in 2019. So a lot of sites are covering this, mainly because the website wtt.biz actually seems pretty legit. There's a lot of people looking into it over on Reset Era, a website where there's all types of rumors and links and all that stuff, and a lot of people are saying that this rumor does hold some water. So, you know, I think it would be really awesome. Like, Nintendo obviously is reaching out to developers like CD Projekt Red and probably Rockstar as well, saying, hey, we really want your games on our platform. Can you give us something like Red Dead Redemption 2, which they probably can't. I mean, to me personally, it seems like they're trying their best when it comes to asking developers if they're interested in getting their games on the Switch. Like when it comes to Rocket League and Doom and Wolfenstein, it seems like that kind of stuff is happening. So would The Witcher 3 be too much out of the question? I'm not really sure. I think CD Projekt Red could actually benefit from this. I'm not sure how hard it would be to get the game running on Switch, but I imagine the game actually doing well on Switch. Like, this is the type of game, I'm pretty sure Skyrim did pretty well. I mean, Skyrim does well on everything, but this is the type of game that a lot of gamers, hardcore gamers who own Switches, want to play on the go, or while they're at work, or while they're just sitting on the couch, or on their TV, for God's sake. Now, everyone I've talked to has said that they would love The Witcher 3 on Switch, but be sure to let me know what you would think down in the comments. I'm curious if, like, this is something a lot of people are interested in, not a lot of people are interested in. I just want to know. Now, another thing this could be in connection with is the streaming service for Nintendo Switch that's only available in Japan. Maybe this has something to do with that, where there's like a streaming version of The Witcher 3 coming to Switch. Now, I'm not really a big fan of streaming games. I just don't really think we're there yet in terms of internet speeds and just like perfectly reaction times when it comes to pressing buttons and then seeing it on your screen right when you press it. I honestly I'm not a big fan of streaming games, but obviously it wouldn't matter to us here in the US. I mean, I'm sure you can stream those Japanese games by using a Japanese account, but from all what I've heard, they don't stream very well, which is pretty lame. Anyway, now a weird comparison, stay with me on this one, is the Final Fantasy XV Pocket Edition that recently came to consoles and started on iOS. It's pretty much the same game from the ground up as Final Fantasy XV, just looks way different. It's way more cartoony, way less realistic graphics, and it runs a lot easier on something like the Switch. Now, I'm wondering if they could give The Witcher 3 a totally different makeover and just have it running on Switch and, you know, maybe be an exclusive for Nintendo. Like, you get this cartoony, I know Nintendo gets a lot of crap for their cartoony art styles, but you know, having The Witcher 3 and maybe this like cartoony, more stylized art direction would be really cool. I would like to see something like that. Similar to, and you might not know what I'm talking about, but the cell shaded filter that you could add on Uncharted 4. Like, you put the filter on that game and it turns the whole game into a totally different style of game almost. It almost looks like Wind Waker, and it looks really awesome. If you haven't seen that filter, I'll show it to you right now. It's really cool. But anyway, I'd love to see something like that with The Witcher 3 on Nintendo Switch, but be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Do you want The Witcher 3 on Nintendo Switch? Because I personally would. And I want Persona 5, and I want Tekken 7, and I want pretty much every game. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.